what is the pandas? Pandas, you can imagine, it's a library, something similar to Excel. So most of you have already used Excel files before. So in Excel, you have is a way to manage the data. Right? So usually you have different columns here. Each column you label them, say what the name of the columns here, and each row you have different data sets here. And Panda, you can read data of Excel file that directly into the Python using pandas, and then using a data structure, something called a data frame within the panda. And this data frame is very useful for manipulating data. The reason because, well, you might ask me, say, well, I already have NumPy here to manipulate data. Why do I need pandas here? The reason is NumPy here is used primarily to handle numerical data. So these are numbers here. And for pandas here, this is much more flexible. So the entries of data, just like Excel, can be any data type. You can have text, you can have date, you can have numerical values, you can even have other objects, all the defined objects. So it's a very flexible framework to put it together. So that's called a panda. So let's show how the pandas work here. So let's do, and again, you do that, you do import panda here. Let me do that. Simple, basic part of that. So import panda as PD, again, just like MP is by convention, is simple abbreviation panda. So that when I use it, I can just use PD here. So next what I'm gonna do here, I can create a data type here, a data frame here. So this data frame is more or less like a dictionary here. You say, well, name could be John, Anna, Peter, Linda. So this is the first column. And the second column represents locations. Yes. 4 locations here. And then the age represented in the third column. If you do that, we'll generate a data frame. Let's look at what data frame will look like here. And to see that, we just type in the data here. So now you can see what, so by the way, sorry, this is a dictionary. What you generate here is data type called dictionary in Python here. And then this is the key, these are values here. You can see that, right? So now I'm going to convert that into a data frame. The way I do this, I'm going to use this command here. I call panda pd data frame and data. And then now once I do that, I will convert data into a data frame, here. So how does data frame look like here? Well, if you type in data frame here, well now list very nicely, something like Excel here, but now this is something within the Python here. This is the name, 4 entries here. This is the first entry, second entry, third entry here. And you can think about this as something like a database, relational database. So this is the rows, how many entries you have here, and this is the columns of that database, or Excel files. And then you can see now the data types are different. Right? So you have text here, strings here, and then you have numbers here, number, string, but mixed within a one single data type here. That's called a data frame. All right, and then within the data frame here, you can say, what are the columns in this data frame here? You have 3 columns here, name, location, age, and then you can refer to, let's say I want to look at only name here, and you can use data frame to say there's a list of names within this data frame. Or you can refer to say, give me the entries, the first entries here. This first entry say is somebody called John, located in New York, age is 24. And then you can look at the last entries of this data frame. So you can see this is something very convenient way. Implemented many of the functions implemented in the Excel files, and you can download those statistics and so on. So this is very convenient. So this data frame is very useful because in our case here, we interact with the actual real world data. So in the real world data, you never implemented this numerical values. They are presented in Excel files or text flat files, and with entries, the entries could be a mixture of names, categories, and with numeric values, date time. And when you load those data into your program, and the most convenient tool to use is use this pandas tool here and convert that into a data frame. And you can see from here. All right, so this is a data frame. This is very useful. Another module is very useful. In fact, to the extreme, I would claim that as long as you're familiar with NumPy and the matplotlib and pandas, and you will be an expert in Python. Because with that three modules, you can handle probably lots of things you can do in your regular work. And I have not talked about machine learning. I'm just talking about in general regular work. If you have some data and you want to do a little bit simple analysis, and those three modules here will provide you sufficient tools for carry out those type of analysis. So it's very useful. I highly encourage you to try to be familiar with these three types of modules. And of course, Python is the reason Python is powerful is that it includes hundreds, maybe even thousands of different types of modules. And each one of them is dedicated to more specialized areas. And that's something you can learn gradually. You don't need to learn everything, know everything, but start with this simple three basic modules will